We're getting it, girl.
Hi, I'm Meg. It's about laid back and progressive wedding planning. And I'm moderating the panel. This is not about me at all. So this is about the Offbeat Empire, which started with Offbeat Bride, which is another wedding vlog that is much like it sounds. So I'm going to toss this to Ariel first, who is the founder and started it all, and she's going to sort of describe quickly what her business is, and then we'll talk about who's on the panel.
Hi everybody. So just so I have a feel of the temperature of the room, how many of you are already familiar with the Offbeat Empire? Oh, so most of you. Okay, so I'll keep this very brief. The Offbeat Empire started with offbeatbride.com, which was a marketing site I set up to sell my book. No one really cared about the book. Wait, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to be signing copies of the book after this. You all are very interested in the book. But after 6 months, it became immediately clear to me that people, yeah, sure, okay, they were interested in the book, but they really loved the website. So Offbeat Bride became sort of a web magazine of its own. That was 2007. In 2009, I expanded to Offbeat Mama 2 months before I became an Offbeat Mama. And then just this year in February, I decided to launch Offbeat Home. So at this point, it's now actually a network of, it's basically a publishing network. And I used to joke that it was going to be an empire. I did some time at Microsoft, and of course we all know Microsoft is the evil empire, and I would joke when I was not using Microsoft hours to work on my own work, because of course I would never do such a thing. I would joke that I was working on the Offbeat Empire, and now here we are. And there's t-shirts and everything, so the Offbeat Empire became. And a blog. And right, yeah, the last blog just launched a couple months ago. It's just offbeatempire.com, and that's kind of the business of publishing, the business of PR, running a small company, managing people who work all over the country. So yeah, that's kind of the overview. It's an ad-funded publishing network that started as a little book marketing project.
Here we are.
So we're going to talk a little bit about both of those things, I guess. We're going to talk about, I've always been obsessed with socializing online. So my first internet date was in 1992. My first website was in 1996. I started blogging in 2000. Kind of took it pro in 2005, and now here I am. So basically, I'm almost coming up on my 20-year webiversary of nerding out with people online. So
I'm Jennifer Dodd. I'm a CTO, person who makes stuff work. I attended my first Star Trek convention in 1990. I was in middle school. That kind of set the tone for my adulthood, and now I do web development for fun and work.
I'm Megan Finley. I'm the assistant publisher / managing editor of Offbeat Bride. I got my ass kicked continuously all through school. Beat up and made fun of just for being a nerd. I now spend my days blogging, and I am the family's IT person.
Is this on? Okay, so. I'm Stephanie. I am the managing editor of Offbeat Mama, and I don't know, I was live journaling in like 1999, and I was like the Lunar Lovegood of my high school, sort of like, what's going on? And then I just kept blogging, and I had a kid, so I ran off that, started Offbeat Mama, I love Star Wars. It wins.
My name is Kat Rocketship. That's my real name. I met my husband at science camp when I was 15. It's pretty nerdy. And my brand of nerdy is like huge X-Files fan, going through them again right now. Awesome. And have been on the internet since about age 10 and blogging and being nerdy friends. So.
The microphone pass. So obviously everybody here.
I was finding things like Super Mario nerd weddings, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I would feature, you know, the things that appealed to me. It was like a lot of burners and hippies and ravers and weirdos.
Which are all the things that appeal to me.
Yeah, and then I joined the team.
Love those things too. Burners,
And I brought in the gamers, and I brought in the Star Wars weddings, which, you know, SEO-wise, traffic-wise, was also huge. You know, like we could probably do an offshoot of just offbeat nerdy weddings. You know, could be its own blog. So basically, I brought in my own interests that I thought were just sort of. I existed in a nerd vacuum, I'll be honest with you, for a very long time. I am the dorkiest one of my friends. A lot of them don't know half of the things that I get excited about. But then I realized, oh my gosh, there's more of us. And we you know, are proud of it, and we bring it into our weddings, you know, and we bring, you know, groups of people together to celebrate these silly, weird little niche things that we're into. Yeah, and it made me feel happy to tell other dorks that you're not alone.
I have my answer, but
No, go.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. So that's
giving
what,
her an easy pick.
yeah, so the easy answer is starting the blogs. But I think, and I was going to say something related to that, which is, yes, I started the blogs, but I can't run all those blogs. I think the most interesting decision that I made at one point was realizing that I really liked what I was doing, and Jennifer and I have worked together for almost 10 years on various blogs, so I sort of had someone I was working with on a technical level. Like, we geek out about the content management systems all the time. But there was a certain point when I realized Jennifer's not an editor, she's not a moderator. Thank God. Lucky you. Yeah, like, lucky you, code doesn't sass back. And so there was a certain point when I realized I needed help. And I think for me, and this is really sappy, but I think for me, like, deciding to bring other people into this sole proprietorship was huge for me. And it changed the nature of the work I was doing. I mean, like Megan talks about, Offbeat Bride was one kind of offbeat when I started it. And granted,
Is helping people realize that, because it really is, and that's like my sappy story. That's my favorite. So.
Is it me?
It's you.
Oh, okay. Hey. In addition, I think, to realizing, you know, about embracing your nerdy self, which is totally a realization that I also had. My biggest realization beyond that was embracing that everybody has a story to tell. I am an incredibly curious person. I like to just pick up things and look at them and show them to people. And I used to think that it was something that's very, almost like childish and irritating. But then I think it's more like you have to hang out with the right people who find that interesting and who are going to go like, no, okay, you want to teach me about this, that's awesome. It can get kind of scary because I like to learn about everything, and so I get a little bit of like message creep, but that's what Ariel's here for. So, it's when you can just embrace that, like, people really like to hear about new things and really want to find new things to be nerdy and geeky and into, that's really exciting too.
so, we sort of designed your TV. That sounds like hell to me. Aren't we glad we don't work in an office together where, like, your TV is next to my cubicle, and you know what I mean? So it's that freedom of recognizing that we all have different work styles and finding the work style that works best for you. I mean, you know, in my own bloated ego, like, I hope I can lead by example, and I feel like more internet-based businesses are doing this. And even, I mean, Microsoft finds ways to do this too, where it's like, we don't care if you come to work in your full goth. Does anyone know Jillian Venters, Our Lady of the Manners? She works at Microsoft in like top hats and petticoats and like white. I mean, homegirl is the most amazing goth I've ever seen, and she's a technical editor. She goes to work every day on the connector in her like full regalia. And, you know, God bless Microsoft for being like, you are a fucking freak and you're a great technical editor. So I feel like the IT technical.com computer worlds is better at doing that than a lot of other industries are. But I feel like there's still a long way to go in saying, you know best how you do your best work. And as a manager and a business owner, I just want you to do your best work. So if that's naked in a hot tub, rock.
Well, you know, nobody's gonna know if we're naked in a hot tub when we're
Until
Until we're Skyping.
Yeah. I'm wrong when I Skype.
Yeah.
But that's how I dress up at the office. I think that goes back. That hits home with me, the whole professionalism thing, because I have never, ever been professional. I'm completely unprofessional all the time, and it's been hard finding a work environment for me when I thought. That's when I was saying.
Bitch works hard.
I know, but I'm so motherfucker gate.
Right.
I mean, come on.
But isn't that professional?
That's
I guess
totally
that's,
professional.
I guess that's my point.
Yeah.
It's not just how we work offline, right? It's
Right.
that we can say motherfucker.
Yeah,
And
you
fuck
shape
you.
how your profession. In this one, yeah, it's how I know that I've met, you know, my penguin. What is it? The way you're perfect with each other. You know, you're like my match, my perfect match. That Ariel lets me write, you know, like on a boat, motherfucker. And it's like, ooh, is that okay? And she's like, oh, this is great. Yeah, I love it. You know, and it's like when you like what I said, like just recognizing who you are and then doing that is I struggled everywhere else in an office. No. And as a hostess, and it was like, you can't cuss in front of the customers, and you can't, you know, dance, and you can't make up songs as you're seating people, you know, like, you have to find where, you know, I found this work, and it was perfect, and because of that, I've thrived, because I can be professionally unprofessional.
So I think we have time for one more audience question that could involve less or more profanity than my question.
Or the panel at the bar, yeah.
I will say I've learned a huge amount about sensitivity around language. A few of the things I've been called out, a few of the language I've been called out for using, and I will preface all these by saying I see validity in almost all of these. I've been called out for using illegal immigrant instead of undocumented immigrant. I've been called out for calling myself a gleetard. I get it. I've been called out for saying something was lame because it was ableist speech. I was called out recently for saying some shoes were crazy but awesome. Oh no, insane but awesome. I was like, look, I have mental illness in my family, I'm sensitive to these issues, and I do not have a problem with using the word insane colloquially. We're just gonna have to agree to disagree. I have a template, I have an email template for when people write in to complain about swearing, where I'm just like, the book was written in 2006 and includes the phrase ass fucking, so swearing has been part of the Offbeat empire since before the website was launched. Like, this is not ever gonna change, and if you don't like it, this isn't a good site for you. So it's an interesting, I mean, like with things with illegal immigrant, I'm like, yes, you're right, I'm going to change that language. With things like lame, I'm like, wow, that's really sensitive, I wouldn't have thought of that. But yeah, okay, I'm going to change it. I try and always err on the side of sensitivity when people have concerns with the language that we use, but it is a major ongoing challenge, because ultimately we're a site that's a little bit foul and a lot opinionated, and if everything's written not to offend anyone, nothing can be written.
Right.
So seriously, I could go on for hours and hours and hours.
Therapy.
And yeah, there's definitely, it gets hard sometimes. The day of the insane shoes, where I was just like I can't, this is not okay. But it was positive. It was insane and awesome shoes. Like, I didn't want to pull out my crazy cred, but I was like, really, it's okay.
So if you want to ask Ariel more questions about insane shoes or how she edits, she's going to be signing copies of her book in the main room, which clearly you should buy.
Rainier room.
Because the internet is awesome, but we don't want books to die out, do we? No. So we're going to